So once we've covered all of the basic egg recipes, we move into the slightly more advanced category. So in this lecture, I'm going to teach you how to make an egg roll, a standard omelette, and a frittata. The first recipe we're going to do is an egg roll, which is a paper-thin omelette that we use almost like a pancake. So the recipe is really easy. We're just going to take 2 eggs, good pinch of salt, whisk them up, get a pan onto a medium heat, half a teaspoon of butter. Now before the pan gets too hot, we're going to pour the egg in, because remember we need to get the egg to spread over the whole pan. If the pan's too hot, it won't spread all the way. We're just going to let this cook for a couple of minutes until it becomes opaque on the top. Then we're going to flip it over. So you can see it's nicely cooked on both sides here. Now I'm going to pop it onto a board. So here we've got our paper-thin egg roll. It's basically like a tortilla. So my recommendation would be to make a whole bunch of these on a Sunday, and then you've got your lunch boxes sorted for the whole week. You can put whatever you like in these, but I'm going to quickly make one with trout avo and cream cheese. Pepper. So that's a really simple egg roll recipe. Now we're going to move on to slightly more advanced. Now the omelette I'm going to cook on a slightly hotter heat, and it's ever so slightly more complicated, but still really easy. And I'm going to add in cheese. When you're banting, you need as much fat as you can get, and there's no better way to get fat in your diet but to start with a really nice cheesy omelette. So again, we're just going to use 2 eggs, whisk them up nicely, nice crack of salt, crack of black pepper, and give it a good whisk. Got 70 grams of really nice strong mature cheddar, and I'm just going to grate this up. We've got our pan on a medium to high heat, and I'm just going to add in a little knob of butter, give it a good sizzle, and pour the egg mixture straight in. Then I'm going to take it off the heat almost immediately. And you're just breaking it up to expose the egg to the bottom of the pan. Right, so it's been removed from the heat, but it's a heavy base pan, so it's going to keep a lot of its heat. And we're going to add in the cheese. And it might feel like too much cheese, but we want it to be very, very cheesy. And you're only going to put it down the one side and kind of pat it down. So you can see the omelet's peeling away at the sides there, and that's a sign that it's actually cooked on the bottom. So you can see it's still a bit raw in here, but that's good. So I'm going to flip it over and close it. You can see the cheese is melted and it's bubbling nicely. I've just put it back on the heat to give it a little bit more of a sizzle. But if the cheese is melted, it means the egg on the inside is definitely cooked. There is no better way than to start your day with something this dirty and delicious. So that's a delicious cheesy omelette. Now I'm going to show you the easiest of all the 3 omelettes, and that is a frittata. Now in Spain, a frittata has potato in it, but obviously that's out of the question when we're banting. So I'm more going to teach you the method of the frittata rather than the recipe. And that's simple. It is just a baked omelette. Now the beauty of a frittata is that you can flavor it with absolutely anything you like, from bacon, cheese, ham, mushrooms, peppers. But today I'm going to make a chorizo, pan-seared cherry tomato, and cream cheese frittata. First thing I'm going to do is get my pan up to a medium heat. Before you start, get your oven preheated to 180 degrees. Then I'm going to grab my chorizo and get it cut up into nice slices. Now chorizo has got plenty of fat in it, so I'm not going to add any oil into the pan. It's going to fry itself in its own juices. So you see the chorizo has rendered a lot of its fat. So I'm going to take the chorizo out, but I'm going to leave all the fat in the pan to grill the tomatoes with. So just before it starts to smoke properly, we're going to add those tomatoes in. Just to help spread the heat through the tomatoes, I'm going to add a splash of water. These have been in the pan for about 5 minutes now, and they're starting to get some really good color. You can see they're starting to get crispy skins and they've got nice golden brown. So I'm going to just give them a crack of pepper and a little sprinkle of salt. Now all we need to do is make our egg mixture. I usually use 2 eggs per person. You can make individual frittatas, or you can put the whole mixture in a tray and spread your filling over. When it comes out the oven, you just cut it up into portions. And we've got little dishes here that we're going to use. So I'm going to crack all of my eggs into a bowl and mix them up first. As always, salt and pepper. And give it a good whisk. Now it's time to add our fillings. So I'm going to add in the chorizo first. I'm just going to divide it up by 4 really. I'm going to take our scorched cherry tomatoes, add those in. And some cream cheese. This is just going to add some rich creamy decadence to it all. Pop them on a tray and in the oven about 180 for 15 minutes. So these have been in the oven for 15 minutes, but they'll probably take 15 to 20 minutes depending on the oven. And they're perfect. You can see all the egg is cooked around the edges and they've puffed up brilliantly. Now the only thing left to do is to put the pesto on. I hope now you can see how versatile the egg really is. So I encourage you to keep experimenting, keep trying. Good luck and enjoy.